Anytime you're working with custom engines, you will need to make custom lines. Whether that is fuel lines or power steering lines, knowing how to work with AN fittings is a must. Power steering pumps from Prestige Motorsports are drilled and tapped to convert the pressure side to a -6 AN line. High pressure power steering fluids require PTFE lined hose and PTFE fittings which support up to 2500 PSI. To create a custom power steering line out of PTFE hose and fittings, first cut your hose to length. A clean cut is critical when working with braided line to avoid fraying. A cable cutter works best, but if you're in a pinch, you can wrap the line with electrical tape and use a thin cutoff wheel to make the cut. Lubricate the outer portion of the hose using a silicone-based lubricant. Slide the socket of the fitting over the line, giving yourself plenty of room to work with. If your line has this black plastic coating on the outside, you must trim it back approximately 1/2 of an inch. With a clean cut on the end of the hose, take the fitting and work it into the end. This will reform the hose after being cut and stretch the braid away from the inner liner without fraying the ends. Next, fit the sleeve between the braid and the inner liner. A hard, flat surface to press against will ease installation. The sleeve must be pressed in far enough that the inner shoulder rests on the cut liner. With the sleeve in place, hold the socket in a soft-jawed vise and carefully pull the hose through until the sleeve is seated in the socket. Again, use the soft-jawed vise to hold the socket in place. Apply anti-seize to the threads of the fitting. Insert the fitting into the hose end and start the threads. Using a wrench, tighten the fitting until it and the socket almost touch. Line up the hex portions for a clean, professional look. Standard AN fittings can be used for lower pressure systems like fuel and transmission lines. They are assembled in a similar fashion. First, slide the fresh cut hose into the socket until the hose bottoms out at the threads. Next, apply anti-seize to the fittings and threads. Push the fitting inside the hose and start the threads. Using a wrench, tighten the fitting until it almost bottoms out on the socket. Again, lining up the hex portion provides a professional touch.